Welcome back everybody. So this is going to be a quick update video for you guys on stock market to get you prepared for next week going into Monday. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. And now let's get right into it, guys. Dow is up 1.15%, Nasdaq up 2%, S&P up 1.56%, and Russell also up on the day 1.12%. And here's 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500, and definitely a risk-on move here in the market. On top, we got technology leading the way. Then we got communication services, consumer cyclical, industrials, energy, financial. On bottom, consumer defensive, utilities, healthcare. Week-to-date performance right here. Also on top, technology, communication services, industrials. On bottom, energy, utilities, real estate, and then basic material and healthcare. So on stock market map, let's talk about it, guys. This is 2023, and let me show you guys something. Pfizer, a big name from healthcare, down 37%, BMY down 36%, CBS down 32%, J&J down 14%, right? Then, if you look right here, energy also down. Chevron, big company, down almost 20%. Schwab down 30%. Regional banks, if you look at right here, everything is down 20 to 40%. Bank of America, big bank, Wells Fargo, both down 24%, 11%. And then Magnificent Seven and some of the other names around it, right? Look at this right here. I would let Tesla go. And why? Because only up 20%. But same thing here. You got Ford, GM down for the year. Netflix whopping 75%. Amazon up 66%. Meta whopping 224%. Google 53%, even with that pullback with earnings. Now, monster among all the stocks. Nvidia up 251%. That is just insane. Then we got AMD also up 100%. Intel up 41%. MU up 34%. And look at right here, guys. Microsoft, a fresh new all-time high today, up almost 65% for the year. Apple with bad earnings, up 38%. So, I mean, do you call this a bull market? Because all we got, the big names, Magnificent Seven, going up every day. And if you look at some big names like Pfizer here, not participating. Chevron, same thing. This market only holding up because of these names right here: Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. Now Tesla, this is what I call a healthy move. We saw a big pullback even today, and it's only up 20% for the year. This is not healthy, guys. This is insane. And soon or later, something will break. There is no way things will just go straight up. So here's my X account, and if you're on there, definitely give me a follow. Now, if you look at my screen, look at last week, beginning of this month, what happened? Everyone was bearish right here, over 50%, and then market rallied up, right? We saw a big rally last week, and this week 43% bullish now. And that is just insane, how quickly people are flipping from bull to bear and bear to bull within just 1 week. And market does not care. Again, I mean, yes, 42% they were bullish for this week, and market continued today. Massive rally, not by $1-2, huge. I mean, Qs are up over $8 on the day, and this is not healthy. All I'm trying to say here in this video that, I'm not one of those guys, where they call for a crash, and I'm not talking about a crash, but the way things are going, that is really, like I would say disturbing. And you cannot ignore the fact that stock market, shouldn't be that way. Unless the whole stock market is a short squeeze, and people are shorting and everything just going up and people are just covering their short. That's just not how it works. Yes, we saw a nice correction, market came back, but where is the pullback? For almost a week and a half, we just went straight up. Yesterday we saw a glimpse of it, a pullback, just a glimpse. And guess what today, guys? There is no catalyst, no CPI, nothing today, no J Powell, but the market decided that I'm just going to rally off of those stocks. And those are magnificent seven. So people are also flipping, market also flipping. And another thing I'm going to show you guys here very soon, which is HYG, smart money, and S&P 500 dumb money. And as a matter of fact, let's get right into it. So HYG high yield bond on top, and this is actually a 4-hour chart right here. And then we got S&P 500 on bottom, SPY ETF. Now, if you look at my screen, HYG actually never went higher right here. What we saw today, a massive rally on S&P 500. So guess what? Smart money already selling out, locking in profit. And guess what? Dumb money, people are still buying into this FOMO rally and going long. And guess what's going to happen? We called it before also right here, where SPY was making a new low, and this one was actually going higher. And then what happened, guys? Look at this right here. SPY was coming down and they were buying behind the scenes. And then we saw a massive rally, and S&P 500 also went up. And now you're seeing that they're actually locking in profit, or at least not doing much, and pulling back, where S&P 500 again making a new high and going higher. Now, it actually plays out most of the time, not 100%, but even last one played out. I think it took about 3-4 days, and I said it in my X account there that it's coming. And finally it came, and we saw a massive rally to the upside. So is this going to play out? Definitely. You have to watch going into next week. So this is where I was calling it out before. And as you can see, on October 25th, SPY was going lower, and HYG was making a higher low. And then we saw a massive rally to the upside. It took about, I would say, 3-4 days, and then we saw that playing out to the upside. And now we're seeing smart money actually taking profit, and it's going lower, where we saw S&P 500 going even higher. Now, this is my X account, and I do post a lot of things, including some of my plays, and this one was fantastic today, guys. And I don't think anybody out there can say this. 9:24 a.m. I called it out that TTD right here, trade desk, getting puts, and this thing went up to close to 64, and this is where we got in. I actually got $60 strike instead of 55, and this one actually paid really good today. We locked in profit and got out from it, and then this thing went back up because it was getting really oversold. Now also, a lot of these plays, this one we played, that was yesterday, and this thing also paid once again. And then we got Roblox here that we played, and I don't post everything here, and not all the trades are winner. You cannot win everything. So yes, there is 1 or 2 losers here and there, but mostly lots of winning trades. And if you want to get all my trades, and especially my swing trades and 3 days of live trading, check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now let's get right into SPY ETF. On SPY ETF, it's up 1.56%, and J Powell spoke yesterday, and guess what? It was the same thing, right? Rates are staying higher and longer. But guess what? Market does not care. And yesterday, it was a more of a hawkish tone, but who cares? Market went down just a tiny bit to trap a lot of bears right here. And yes, I have seen so many bear market rallies before, but this is insane. This is the next level right here. Where is the pullback? Do you call this a pullback yesterday? Absolutely not. This is nothing. Yesterday, it was kind of looking like we might be coming down here at least this morning, 430, 431 to fill this gap. And then you can buy the dip here and maybe, get a nice day trade going. But guess what? This thing actually gapped up today, this morning, up $2, came down, filling the gap, went back up, and now, almost touching 441. So now next week, guys, you gotta be really careful, especially if you're going new money long right here. That is insane. And I said it before in my video, if this thing actually does not come down, I'm not buying the dip here. This is insane. How much upside you have? Yes, today went up over $6, almost $7. But that was a risky trade if you actually took this trade today. Unless you got lotos, same day expiration for 30, 40 cents, who cares? It's only $400 or $500 you're risking, and you made, probably $5,000 out of it. But going long, here, new money long, there's nothing left. No meat left here on this bone. It's gone. The only time there will be a nice opportunity if there is a pullback, which is not happening. And just because, a lot of people are thinking about that pullback, and that is why we're not getting that. But I think it's coming very soon, and you're going to see it. This insane move, if you call this, it was digesting right here, this is not actually a consolidation. This thing went straight up. There was no pullback. So next week, almost touching 442, 443 right here. That's going to be a big resistance to watch. On a pullback, you want to watch 440, 438, 436, and then all the way down here, 433, and then the gap below. And that would be a dip, I would say, if there is a pullback. Next week, we do have CPI coming out also next week. So you got to be really careful, especially if you're going new money long right here on SPY ETF. So this is where things are getting even more insane. Look at this. It's up 2.25%, $8.32 on the day. And yesterday, I would not even call this a healthy back test right here. 2 days ago, or actually 3 days ago, we got the first breakout right here. It was holding, right? Second day, it was holding, not even coming down to this trend line, and it was just holding. And yesterday, we kind of got that back test right here. And this morning, after gapping up, and then coming down to 371.28, and that was it. It's gone. And now if you look at my screen, yes, we got the breakout, and look at all these gaps down here. Where is the pullback? Absolutely nowhere to be found, right? And the next resistance, 378, we went above, and now the next one, 380. And I think if that breaks, maybe this time we get to see a new fresh all-time high. And I know it sounds crazy without a pullback, but this is what the market is doing, guys. It's insane. So on Qs, next week, support to watch 378, resistance to watch 380. Above 380, definitely it's heading higher up to this high right here, and possibly hitting a fresh new all-time high. Now, if this thing can go up $8 in just one day, guess what? We got whole week next week, and we got CPI. Who knows? Maybe we get to see a fresh new all-time high on triple Qs. Now, only if there is a pullback, I would not call this a dip anymore here, right here. Yes, you can day trade, make some money, but going new money long at this level right here, that is insane. Only time if this thing actually gets that real pullback, then watch out. Now we do have support at 373, and just below that down here, that is around 369. This resistance trend line, now that is the support. And only if that breaks, you're going to see a dump off down to this gap, 363.68, which is a long way from 378.39 right now. It's going to need some decent sell-off here next week for this gap to get filled right here just below 364. So this one here, guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you guys think this is actually a healthy move here in this market? So IWM is market breadth. And if you look at my screen, it's up on the day today, finally 1.12%. But since that high last week, look at what's happening. This thing sold off for what? 4 days, closing this gap and almost closing this gap down here, 165.60 today, getting down to 166.79, where we saw triple Qs going up, SPY going up, even Dow Jones rallying today and going up to the upside. And this one already filling all the gaps here on bottom. And finally, we saw, a bit of a bounce today. So is this a dead cat bounce on IWM? Definitely, that could be a case. Early as Monday, this thing can come down and fill this gap at 165.60. If this thing can break and hold 170, then watch out for a move up to 174.49, 176, 178, and then the gap above just under 180. And like I said, guys, when you look at this one, it's not healthy. This one already coming down and filling all these gaps where triple Q and SPY just going higher and not even getting a single day which is red and pulling back significantly, where you saw 4 days in a row this thing coming down. And yesterday came down, look at this, from 171 down to 167. This thing gave up all the gains in 4 days, where we saw Qs and SPY holding up the gains and going even higher today. So the diamond DIA also up on the day, 1.15%. And if you look at this one here, getting really close to this gap yesterday and today, and again leaving this gap open and going higher today, and pretty much going above all these candles today. And looks like early as Monday, we could be filling this gap at 344.20. Now, only if this thing can fill this gap right here and hold 344 to 345 as a support, then the next stop, 350. If we get that pullback next week, then watch out for the support, 341, 340, the gap down here, 338.52, and then all the way down here, 335, and then this gap down here, 333.36. So what's more concerning here, that TNX actually just flat on the day, not really going anywhere. It was up actually in the morning, and then we saw a bit of a pullback, and now flat on the day, where we saw market going up. And this one just staying up above, if you look at my screen, 46 right here. And that is bullish in the short term because it's holding 5-day moving average right here, which is rising. And if we can hold 46 on TNX next week, then watch out for a move possibly up to right here, 47 to even 47.78 to close this gap right up here. Now to the downside, if this thing actually breaks 46, then watch out for 44.90 and then the gap below down here, 43.71. And if that happens, that's going to be more fuel to the fire, and S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 can rally even higher. So watch out. If this thing actually takes a back seat, it's going to fuel even more rally here in this market. On VIX is down over 7%, and this thing has nowhere to go but possibly come down and retest lower Bollinger Band and this low down here, 1268, and that would be a support to watch on a pullback. It's holding nothing. There is no support, nothing here on VIX. Only thing, if this thing can actually break and hold 15, then you could see a move up to $16 to $18, and that's going to create a lot more opportunities in this market. So far, look at this one here, guys. Fear is leaving the market the way we have never seen. Even right here, we saw a big spike, and then, it was selling off for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then we saw a spike. Same thing here, we saw a spike. Even right here, we saw a spike, right? But do you see a spike here? Yesterday, we saw just a dead cat bounce, and that was it. This thing getting decimated. So, that is why new money long right now, it's risky. And if you're buying at the top, you're going to regret buying that top at this point. So the dollar also down on the day, but nothing big, kind of a flat day. And we got lots of things happening here on dollar. We got this broadening wedge right here on dollar. And if this thing actually plays out to the upside, then watch out for a move. I mean, we could see a huge pullback here in this market. Now also inside this wedge, we got this bear flag right here. And if this thing cannot hold right here, 105.64, guess what? You're going to see a dump off down to 105 and possibly even lower down to 104.48. Only time this thing can actually break above, I would say 106 right here. Then you're going to see a move up to 106.46 and then 107. And above 107, that's going to be a breakout for more upside. And that is when you're going to see S&P 500 coming down and filling some of those gaps to the downside. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.